Hey, welcome back to Laggin Out, guys. My name is Hiro, and you're watching the Laggin Out. I'm just going to break down the Metroid timeline. This then leads into the next game, which was Metroid Prime Hunters. In Metroid Prime 2, Echoes. Metroid Prime 3. The following game after that is Metroid 2, Return of Samus, otherwise known as Metroid Samus Returns. So Metroid 2, Return of Samus came out on the Game Boy. Samus Returns came out on 3DS. This is one that I played. It is, Samus Returns is literally just a complete ground-up remaster of the exact same game. You're talking same maps, same puzzles, same game mechanics. It just looks prettier. That's really all it is. This game, at some point following the previous mission, the Galactic Federation decided that the Metroids were too dangerous to exist. Because up until this point, every game in the series has been fraught with coming across Metroids that were captured by the space pirates, or Metroids that were found by the Galactic Federation. The Metroids, what they are is basically a jellyfish-like creature that has the ability to defy gravity, and part of its function is to drain energy, drain life force. It's not really ever explained how this biology exists, but its sole purpose is to feed on whatever life force energy it can find. Well, part of this game, Samus Returns, you come across a creature known as the X-Parasite. It is a viral parasite that when it infects a host, it consumes everything about that host, contaminates it, turns it into a zombie, and then leaves and moves on. And as it leaves and moves on, it becomes a doppelganger of whatever it just infected. The only natural predator of this parasite is the Metroid. And you later find out that the Metroids are a genetically engineered race of creatures that feed on the X-Parasite naturally. They're the natural predators. They keep the X-Parasite species under control. There's more story-driven elements there, but the long story short is that the last place that they find the Metroids is on this planet SR-388. Samus is sent to SR-388 to expressly destroy and obliterate all Metroids. Just exterminate them. After killing every single Metroid, including the Metroid Queen, Samus finds an unhatched Metroid egg, and a baby Metroid pops out. This is the story where you learn about the baby Metroid. This thing follows you around throughout the rest of the game after that point. And then you're at about the halfway point when you come across the baby Metroid. Samus prepares to kill it, but then just realizes that she can't destroy it because it imprinted on her and decided that she was Mommy Metroid, if you will. There's some irony to this later. So instead of destroying the baby Metroid, she returns back to the gunship. At this point, Proteus Ridley basically attacks the gunship to try and kidnap and abduct the Metroid infant. You fight Proteus Ridley. You presumably kill him. You get back to the Galactic Federation and hand it over to the Space Science Academy for research. We're going to come back to Super Metroid. This is the second installment that actually came out. So this game came out in 1994 on the Super Famicom, aka the SNES. Shortly after delivery of the baby Metroid to the Science Academy, Samus receives a distress signal, and she returns to find out that Ridley, after you presumably killed him, came back. Like I said, he always fucking comes back. And attacked the science station and kidnapped the hatchling Metroid. You get there just on time to see that Ridley was leaving with the baby Metroid. He blows up the research station. Samus follows him to the rebuilt base on planet Zebes and then proceeds to go in after them. You get there, you find out that the space pirates are cloning Metroids and trying to use them as bioweapons. She kills the remaining resurgent pirates. Ridley, Kraid, and the rebuilt Mother Brain, destroying Planet Zebes and killing the remaining Metroids. And of course, you got a 5-minute timer at the end to escape the fucking planet. Does anybody else see a recurring theme here? This game came out after Metroid Prime 2 and before Metroid Prime 3. Metroid Other M. Now, it's pretty hotly contested where in the story this game falls. Pretty much everything that I would agree with this assessment that this game takes place right after Super Metroid. I agree with it because of just the ongoing theme of every game. The way every game flows, it just fits. You don't really run into a mention of a particular character of this game until this point, and then you start seeing Easter eggs of mentions of a particular character from this game in games coming afterwards. Following the destruction of Planet Zebes and Mother Brain and the last Metroid, Samus gets back up from the hospital bed, whatever. She was injured, apparently. Samus gets rehabilitated. Apparently, in your escape in Super Metroid, Samus ended up getting some sort of a virus or something infected. Actually, you came across the X-Parasite in Samus Returns. The X-Parasite actually is something that you don't understand in Metroid Samus Returns. So you learn about it, but you don't actually understand it. And in that point, you come across a group of creatures that have the super speed run, that upgrade that you get from in Samus Returns. And they use it as a mechanic to demonstrate how you find a certain hidden secret in that game. What happens is you come across them and you have the choice of killing them, or you have an option of helping them escape the planet in Super Metroid. Canonically, it's never explained, but the working theory is that those creatures were an X-Parasite in disguise as a doppelganger. Well, in Metroid Other M, there's a point in time where the original baby Metroid sacrifices itself to find a way to absorb the X-Parasite from Samus. Well, in the process, the baby Metroid is killed by an enemy of some sort, and there was particles that were basically injected into you in the process. You're in recovery, you wake up, okay, they removed the remaining particles of Metroids to genetically recreate the Metroid species. You're leaving a Galactic Federation scientist, and you get a distress signal coming from a Galactic Federation space station. It's called the Bottle Ship. She goes there and she meets with the 7th Platoon, headed by Adam Malkovich, who you find out in this game, but no other previous game, that she was Samus's original commanding officer from when she was in the Galactic Federation. One of the reasons she left the Galactic Federation, because Adam Malkovich was a love interest of hers. It's canon that she fell for this guy. In this game, it's given much more detail. You discover that they were doing research on genetically recreating the Metroid species. There was a breach of some sort. Broke containment. The entire 7th Platoon, including Adam Malkovich, set about securing the station. What's there can't break out. So they explore the entire space station and find various aggressive life forms there. The ship's ringleaders had created a clone of Ridley. The scientists also recreated Metroids without their weakness to ice. Bad idea. Adam sacrifices himself to take out the sector containing the Metroids, and commissioning Samus to take care of the rest. She finds another Queen Metroid and destroys the final Metroid in existence again. She is a walking extinction event. The game that supposedly comes after this is Metroid Fusion. You do fight Ridley once again, the clone of Ridley. Go figure. The Game Boy Advance game came out in 2002. She was commissioned to be a bodyguard for a biological research team on SR-388. She didn't get infected by the X-Parasite until after the Metroid Fusion game. Super Metroid. She killed a lot of Metroids, and there was Metroid remains all over her bodysuit. That genetic material and used it to refabricate Metroids because science. She was acting as a bodyguard for a biological research team on SR-388, which, by the way, is the homeworld of the X-Parasite. SR-388 She becomes infected by the X parasite, and of course the X parasites are starting to resurge on SR388 because that's where the Metroids were originally developed. That being the case, the Metroids were keeping that species tame and under control. Once you eliminate them from the food chain, guess what happens? Overpopulation. The doctor surgically removed her power suit and cured the X infection with a Metroid vaccine, allowing her to survive the parasite infestation and giving her some minor Metroid characteristics. She is then sent to investigate a disturbance at the Biologic Space Laboratories research station where the researchers attempted to contain the infected power suit. As it turns out, the infected power suit, infected with the X parasite, turned into a replica of Samus, becoming another Dark Samus, effectively. In this case, it's no longer Dark Samus, it's called SAX, Samus Aran X. They released the other X parasites and allowed them to infect the entire station. Samus attempts to stop them, and while doing that, discovers a secret laboratory containing Metroids that the SAX destroys because the SAX became sentient and went, oh, Metroids, those guys can kill me. She then discovers that through the X's asexual reproduction, at least 10 SAXs have been created. She discovers that Adam Malkovich had a AI made of himself. He helps her crash the station, the space station, into SR388, destroying the X on the station, obliterating all life on the planet. Now, of course, when you divert a space station to crash into a planet, there's the obligatory escape the fucking location in 5 minutes or less. Metroid is the mother of all, of course, Metroidvanias, naturally. I'm finally getting to the main event, folks. Metroid Dread.
Laggin Out